Hey everyone, it's Kim. I just wanted to send out an email. I know everyone is confused right now and worried, and a lot of people are in a panic. It is a scary, scary time, something that I'm sure none of us have ever seen in our lifetime and hopefully never do again. But as you can see, I'm very casual today. I'm working at home in my home office, trying to, social distance as much as I can. Although real estate has been deemed a essential work, so we are able to work. We're just having to be smart about it. Obviously, we're not doing open houses and that type of things, and I'm working with my sellers on how they want to handle going forward as far as showings, but I can meet one-on-one with clients as long as we use social distance guidelines. We're keeping our offices closed to the public, but we can take clients into the office if necessary. Obviously, I'm also able to do video conferences. I did one this morning with a sweet new client that I'm going to be working with to find a home. So I can do those as well with you. Seller or buyer, virtual, FaceTime. We can do it through Messenger. I know there's some other platforms, apps that we can use for that, or we can just do a phone call conversation. So if you don't want to meet in person right now, but you have some questions or you want to get started on a process, please let me know. I apologize that my glasses are glaring from my computer screen. That is going to drive me crazy. So what I did want to talk to you about, though, is about the volatility of the stock market right now, and obviously the uncertainty of this coronavirus has a lot of people concerned that we're headed for another housing crash like the one that was experienced. A lot of you may remember, some of you may be too young to remember, but in 06 through 08, and that is very understandable. A lot of people have PTSD, we could call it, from the last time, and they're still afraid that they're buying at the wrong time. So I want to reassure you of those fears, and I wanted to send out a little video to everyone to explain the reasons why, and that indicating this market is nothing like the one we had in 08. So I've included with this 5 charts, and you'll see those below, and they're visuals that show the dramatic differences between then and now. So I'm going to go through each one. I'll try to make this not too long, but I hope this will be helpful to you to eliminate some of those fears. Number one, the mortgage standards are nothing at all like they were back in 08. So during the housing bubble, it was difficult to not get a mortgage, and many of you may remember that. So today, it is much, much tougher to pre-qualify for a mortgage loan. The higher the index, and you're going to see this chart below, the higher the index, the easier it is to get a mortgage. So as you'll see below, during that housing bubble, that index skyrocketed. And currently, the index shows how getting a mortgage is even more difficult than it was before the bubble. So not only did it skyrocket during that time, and we're way, way, way lower than that. We're way lower than it even was before that housing bubble started. So, you used to could get qualified for a loan, for a mortgage loan, for much, much less credit rating than you can now. Now it has to be a minimum, I believe, 580. Most lenders want it around 620 or higher to even qualify you. So that is the number one reason that this is nothing like it was now. And the number two reason is that prices are not soaring out of control. And below you'll see a graph showing the annual house appreciation over the past 6 years compared to the 6 years leading up to the height of the housing bubble. So though the price appreciation has been quite strong recently, it has been strong, and that's a good thing, it is nowhere near the rise in prices that preceded the crash. There is a stark difference between these two periods of time. So normal appreciation is 3.6%, while current appreciation is higher than the historic norm. It is still higher than the norm. It's certainly not accelerating beyond control as it did in the early 2000s. The number three reason is we don't have a surplus of homes on the market. We truly do not. We actually have a shortage. The month supply of inventory needed to sustain a normal real estate market is approximately 6 months. And anything more than that is an overabundance, and it's going to cause prices to depreciate. And anything less than that is considered a shortage, and it will lead to continued appreciation. And that is what we have now, and you can see that in the next graph that I have below. There were too many houses for sale in 2007, and that caused the prices to tumble. You got a lot for sale, your prices are going to go down. So today there's a shortage of inventory, which is causing an acceleration in home values. And I can tell you, I have had clients that I have been searching for homes. I have had them qualified, and for a month or two, easily a couple months, a few maybe even longer, that we've just had such a shortage that it's hard to find. So that is the third reason. There is not a surplus of homes on the market. The fourth reason is houses became too expensive to buy. So the affordability formula has 3 components. Number 1 is the price of the home. Number 2 is the wages earned by the purchaser. And the mortgage rate available at the time is the third component. So 14 years ago, prices were high, wages were low, and mortgage rates were over 6% then. And today, the prices are still high. They're still, in that higher range, but wages have increased in that time frame, and the mortgage rate has decreased. It's currently down around, give or take, 3.5%. As we know, that does change daily, and it has been a little bit volatile in the last few weeks, just like the stock market, but it is still historically low. It is still in the 3s. Some people are getting even lower 3s, but you're going to be somewhere around that mid 3.5%. And that means the average family pays less of their monthly income toward their mortgage payment than they did back in 08, 06, 07, 08. So you'll see there below, there's a graph showing that. I believe it's graph number 4 there. You'll see how that formula is played out. Number 5, people are equity rich. They are not tapped out. So in the run-up to the housing bubble, homeowners were using their homes as a personal ATM machine. So that means, in other words, they were getting all the equity out of their homes during that time. They weren't letting it build up. As they had equity, they were getting it out of their home. And, excuse me, prices have risen nicely over the last few years, just like I explained a few minutes ago. And that has led to 50% of homes in the country having greater than 50% equity in their homes. But the homeowners, and not as many homeowners, have been getting that equity out as they did before. So you'll see this last table here is a table comparing the equity withdrawal over the last 3 years compared to 05, 06, and 07. Homeowners have actually cashed out over $500 billion less than they did then. So during the crash, home values began to fall, and sellers found themselves in a negative equity situation because they had taken all that equity out. And that means the amount of their mortgage they owned was greater than the value of the home. And some decided to just walk away from their homes because there wasn't really much else they could do. So they walked away from their homes. And that led to a increase in distressed properties, foreclosures and short sales, which sold at huge discounts, and that lowers the value of homes in the other areas. And that cannot happen today. It's, again, a totally different situation than it was then. So it is still a great time to buy a home if you've thought about buying a home. I know a lot of people, your jobs have been put on hold, and obviously you have to think about those types of things too. But if you have been thinking about buying or selling and you have questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me. Even if you just have questions and now's not the time, maybe your job, like I said, you're not sure what's going to go on with your job and you're just uncertain of what to do, please reach out to me and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have and go through it and help you decide if it's the right time or not. It may not be, but I want to be here to help you through that time. And please remember during this time that this will pass. It will pass. Let's all just be smart. Do what the CDC tells us to do, and try to be as smart as we can during this craziness. And exercise if you can. I'm talking to myself here too. get some fresh air, try to eat right. I'm struggling with that because I want to eat more when I'm at home, but get some sunlight, and just know that we'll all get through this, and I am here any way that I can help. Please reach out to me and let me know. I hope you guys are all safe and healthy and doing well out there. And again, hopefully we don't have to stay home until summertime like they're kind of talking about now. I hope not. The weather's been not so great today, but it's been really beautiful lately, and I hope we'll be able to get out there and enjoy it together again soon. Let me know if I can help in any way. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your week, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.